I'm working.
It's very natural, Alex.
I'm
This is
working
very
with-
natural.
I'm working with limited talent here.
All right, here we go. And welcome to Sports Talk. I have Alex Vargas here today. Alex is a former Bellport student of mine when I was the athletic director there. He was part of our 2010 Long Island Championship football team, wrestler, great student athlete, someone I really admired and cared about, built a relationship with. And Alex actually came into my office when he was it your junior year or senior year? Senior year, right?
I think senior.
Senior year.
I think so.
And said, hey, Coach Mack, I just want to let you know I'm not going to be wrestling this year. And if anybody knows me, they know I didn't take that too well. And Alex said, I'm not wrestling because I'm training for the Golden Gloves. And I thought that this was just another excuse, because a lot of people make a lot of excuses not to wrestle. It's one of those sports that it's real easy to quit because it's real hard work.
Yeah.
And I tried to talk Alex out of it. And he said, no, this is what I'm going to do. And sorry that you feel the way you do, but I want to focus on boxing. I remember it like it was yesterday, because then he was leaving my office and I said, hey, Alex, if you make it to the finals of the Golden Gloves, let me know. I guess 2 or 3 months later, popped his head in my office. He said, hey, Coach Mack, Wednesday night, Barclays Center. I'm going to be the Golden Gloves finals. Remember that?
Yeah, that's crazy. That brought it all back. I forgot about every moment of that. I just remember that brought back even Mags when I walked by him in the hallway.
Yeah.
And he just didn't say a word to me because he was pissed I wasn't wrestling.
Yeah. And it's tough for coaches when they see talent and they've worked with someone for a long time, and obviously with what you've done, and we'll talk about in boxing, but you were a great talent. You were someone that I'm sure he looked to be an all-league, all-county, maybe even go up to the States kind of wrestler, and then losing you to something. When you have sports outside of school, it's, I think, hard for coaches in the building to understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is it real? And we'll kind of talk about that. But it was exciting for me, because then I started making phone calls and said, all right, who wants to go to the Barclay with me? We're going to go watch Alex Vargas fight in the finals of the Golden Gloves, which he won. And how many bouts were there that night?
That night, I think there were maybe 12, I think.
Maybe 12, right?
I think so,
men's
maybe
and the women's.
Men's, women's, yeah, different weight classes, I think.
Yeah.
I think maybe 12.
And you were also voted as the overall champion, right, of that night.
They gave me the best fight of the tournament that year.
So, a huge award. I mean, and I had been to the Golden Gloves one other time before that. If you remember my friend Frank Cassara, he fought in the Golden Gloves. It didn't exactly work out the same way. But right, heck of a fighter. So, Alex, again, welcome. Take me on the journey from where boxing started for you, because I don't think, I know a little bit about your dad, but I don't know the story. So tell me how it started in your life and how old you are.
I think I was like 6 years old. It was just, my dad would be in the basement every day watching Mike Tyson fights. So I would just be down there with him, because that was like the guy's, basement where the weights were and everything. Yeah, the man kid. So he would be watching the Tyson fights and I'd be watching. So then that just turned into, putting the gloves on and we're just throwing punches. And then we start sparring each other. We put the gloves on. My dad would be messing with me, so we'd fight for fake titles and whatnot. And my dad would act like he got a bloody nose and this and that. So I think it was just one of those that, it just naturally kind of happened.
Did he have a background in fighting? Did he ever keep the gloves on?
No, he was a street fighter. Okay. But he would go to the gym here and there, and he was friends with Buddy McGirt, who was a
I know Buddy.
Long Island. So they'd go to Buddy's grandma's house and spar in the basement. But that's as far as he ever took. He never competed, nothing like that. So
he was just a fan of the fight game.
Yeah, he loved fighting, like I said, in the street, and then he'd go to the gym here and there, but with work and stuff, and he was just all over the place as a young guy, but he never competed. And I remember my mom told me, it might be on tape too, the first thing I laughed at as a baby was my dad started shadowboxing me as a kid, slapping my face around like he was boxing. And that was the first thing I actually cracked up as a kid. And that's actually on tape on like old footage.
And when's the first time you actually got into training in an organized gym?
So I wasn't allowed to until I think I was 9.
9.
So I went to one gym. I was 8 years old, and they were like, "You can't come into the gym until you're 9 years old."
Was that in YMCA in Mastic?
Yeah, it was called Vets Memorial.
Yeah,
at the time.
Yeah.
So
that was right by Floyd, right?
Right by Floyd. And can I jump in?
Yeah.
We have a mutual person that we know together, and I don't know where this timeline is with when you're young, but my buddy Ray Bettinelli, who has BCBA, he said he started Lumberjack Lou's or something when you were young. Does this ring a bell?
Yeah.
Jason from Heaven Hitters. But Lumberjack Lou's, my buddy Ray started, and you were a young
that was
kid.
over in Bayshore.
Yeah, correct.
So I went to Vets Memorial when I was 8. They said you can't box until you're 9 because you're not allowed. But then he let me train. The owner at the time let me train that night.
Okay.
I trained with my dad. It worked really hard. So he kind of just gave me the pass to train in the gym at 8 to 9. And then at 9, I had my first official fight. And I lost that one. I lost my first fight.
Wow.
I remember crying after the fight. I fought in like the Rockaways. The building was like falling apart.
Yeah.
It's the absolute ghetto. And then I fought terrible. Just had my head down the whole fight, swinging. It was like those Rock'em Sock'em robots. I was just fighting like that.
Head down.
Head down, swinging, just throwing, looked ridiculous. Yeah.
No protection.
No. And I lost that fight. I remember just crying and it kind of just took off from there. And then from there, I'd go to like Lumberjack Lou's over in Bayshore and then Heavy Hitters with Jay.
So you had your first influence is your dad.
Yeah.
Then now at 9 years old, you're getting into a gym. Your dad's training you, but you have other trained trainers, like trainers that have actually done this before, working with you.
At the time, there were trainers there, but it was really just my dad.
Just your dad.
He was just.
Were you guys kind of like learning together, almost?
Yeah, because he
cool.
He just watched it. He never competed, so it was just I was so young. He'd go by what he saw in whatever, just watching fights. Just kind of natural. Like I wanted to box.
Because it was probably no training video. It wasn't like you're watching YouTube and you're watching. Like I watched. Again, I watched some of your interviews. I also watched some of your training videos. And I've been coaching my entire life. I couldn't walk into a boxing gym tomorrow and say, "Okay, Alex, we're going to do this. Like I'd have no idea. I saw Rocky. I could pretend I'm Rocky's coach, but really. So it's impressive that your dad kind of picked up on it from someone who really wasn't in the fight game and grew to be like, he still trains you, right?
Yeah. I never even thought about that. Like when you said it, like we learned together. I never thought of like, my dad actually learned, he brought me up in the fight game. Right. He was the one that trained me. I mean, he'd let other trainers that were there work with me because they wanted to. But he was kind of learning from other trainers as well.
I'm sure he had his, like when I first started coaching, Coach Bass was already running West Hampton for years. Mm-hmm. So I always picked up on, am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
You're good.
I always picked up on some of the things he was doing, some of the things Coach Mahoney from Sachem, Coach Fitz from Hampton Bays, like just different guys. I probably never gave them credit,
Yeah.
But I stole what I could and made it my own. And really just I brought it to my guys saying, okay, this is the knowledge I gained by watching these other coaches that have been around a little longer. I'm sure your dad.
That he did mention to me that he'd take from, or he'd see other trainers that were good with the, offensive aspect, combinations and whatnot, and look at that. And then the defensive aspect. So he did do that. And I guess he just from watching and
what about, how did he learn the nutrition end of it? Because it's that and making weight and hydration and all those things.
So that was, as an amateur, it wasn't a problem because when I fought in the Golden Gloves that year, I was playing football before, so I was heavier, and I didn't have enough time to drop down to 152. So I fought at 165,
You fought 165
Yeah.
when you were in high school.
Yeah, in the Golden Gloves.
Wow.
So everyone was like, don't do that. But I just didn't have the time to get the weight down. So the guys I was fighting were like 6'2", and I was weighing in at maybe like 158, and they were like 6'2" and ripped. And it was, I think, 17 years old to 35. So I remember fighting like a 28-year-old from, I think it was a brown
Grown
nose,
man.
was jacked. Yeah, and they were just strong. So it was never a weight cut aspect as an amateur.
But you won that weight.
I did. Yeah.
Which is crazy, right? I mean, he's basically up a couple weight classes.
And young.
And young.
Yeah. I remember
Wow.
the talk was I was supposed to get knocked out in the finals by that guy.
Really?
He was 5-0, 5 knockouts going into the finals against me. So that was the buzz, was that he was going to knock me out and go 6 for 6 on knockouts in the
Right.
Golden Gloves. And he did almost drop me in the first round.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I was off balance.
I might
but
have blocked that out, but
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to
he did almost drop me in the first round.
Really?
Yes, big boy. It was just like his reach. You know, I stepped back wrong. He didn't hurt me, but that definitely, I was like, oh shoot, maybe he's gonna knock me out or drop me. Just naturally, it went through my head.
Can I jump in? I mean,
Yeah.
was this, when did it strike you? Or was it like just a progressive kind of thing where you realized you were good, or the people around you realized that, hey, wait a minute, now this is something special?
I think
You remember that moment? Sorry, we got a dog in here.
He's good.
I'd say the first moment, kind of. It's weird because the Golden Gloves, I'd say, was one moment because I didn't stay consistent with boxing. It was like I boxed when I was a kid, then I was playing sports, so I played football, I wrestled, then I'd randomly go back to boxing. So I think,
Well, on that notion, was there a pinnacle moment where you said, hey, wait, I got to go all in on this? I'm realizing now I have
Like when you
something
left
special.
wrestling to go box, was that in your mind like, okay, maybe I really want to do this as part of my future?
well, that was, no, not at
No.
all. That was the thing.
Right.
I hadn't fought for a few years, but I knew, I used to go to the Garden to watch the finals with my dad all the time of the Golden Gloves. I was like 10 all the way up to 15 years old. And that was one thing I told myself I always wanted to win. But you have to be 17. So once I turned 17, that was like, I'm doing the Golden Gloves and I'm going all in. But I hadn't fought in years. I wasn't training. I was just playing football and wrestling.
Sure.
It was just one of those things I just wanted so bad to win that.
Well, you know, in the wrestling world, you know, there's a point where, right, it's like some wrestlers just decide that, you know, if I go all in year round, just that one sport, I can really, you know, go to the next level.
Yeah.
And initially you were saying it was just you loved boxing. I mean, you may have had that lofty goal in your head because you loved the fanfare of the whole thing, but it wasn't just like, wow, if I go all in, you know, I'll be really great.
Yeah. I didn't even think,
Right.
like, it seemed like it was a long shot for me to win it, just to come back after a long layoff.
Right.
I just wanted to try as hard as I could, but I thought it was a reach because I saw all these great fighters win, and from not even training the entire year because I was playing football, it was kind of just like football ended. I remember I had a concussion so I missed the playoffs and I had to take a break, and I just went right to fighting. So I just thought it was kind of
That's usually what the
unrealistic.
doctor says.
at
If
the
you have a
time.
concussion, go into boxing.
Yeah, well, yeah, that wasn't the smartest thing, and then, but
No, that's all right.
you know, getting hit in the head, not fun, but yeah, it wasn't. It was just one of those like I want to do it. I didn't think I would win and win the best fighter of the tournament kind of things. Like I didn't even have that confidence in myself because I hadn't fought in a while. It was just I'm just going to work hard and see what happens. And then when I won it, I was like, all right, well, if I just did that without training, really, maybe I could do something with it.
So you felt like you already had the hand speed, you already had, and winning the gloves, but you didn't put like the hours that you put in now to training and making weight, being a pro, the higher level, different level.
Yeah, way different.
Wow.
No, it was kind of, I did that and then I fought in the gloves the following year, but wasn't really focused. You know, it was a close fight the first round, but I wasn't motivated. I had a lot going on. I was doing, going to school and
then, so you went to college
Yeah.
right? Did you stay away from boxing, or were you in and out of it, or?
Yeah, I didn't box at all.
Really?
I think I fought the following year in the gloves. I lost and went to Suffolk for 2 years. And I went to Cortland for 2 years. And I didn't hit the bag. I wasn't even running. It was just a lot of schoolwork. But I remember in the dorm room, and one of my roommates can attest to this. I remember I'd always watch boxing. And there was, I think it was Danny Jacobs fighting, main event on HBO at the time. And it just like clicked. And I told my roommate, once I graduate, I'm going right back to boxing. And like, I think I went for a run the next morning in college.
I love it.
I don't know why. I just kind of got that motivation again. So once I graduated, I came back, went right back into the Golden Gloves, and went right to the finals. And it just hadn't stopped since then.
And then, so now, 14-0?
Yeah, 14-0 now.
14-0 as a pro? That's pretty awesome.
Next question.
Yeah.
Do you think that time off benefited you? Maybe to take stock of and then realize how much you wanted it?
I think in a way. I think that if I kept fighting that entire time and staying so active, maybe I would have burned out. And it wears on your body, just like wrestling all of the miles and hitting the head, doing those things. I think it kind of kept me fresh when I did come back. I think maybe it affected me getting back into the swing of things with my timing and, getting used to getting hit in the head again and all that. But I think the break did.
And also when you go into accounting class and you're like, I really don't want to be an accountant.
Yeah. And
where are my boxing gloves?
Yeah. And I didn't want to be in school from the beginning.
Right.
I remember I wanted to join the military.
Right.
I got talked out of it and I went to school. So I didn't want to be at school to begin with.
And what I saw in one of your podcasts, you went to school for English?
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
English is second
as a
language.
Teacher?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good to have.
It's good to have. I just wanted to go a different route.
Yeah.
But I'm happy I have it. I had fun doing it, while I did, dealing with these kids from other countries and seeing what their backgrounds they come from. It was pretty neat. So, I just didn't enjoy school. I don't think anyone really does.
I enjoyed school. I met my wife there.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Easy.
Hanging out with the wrestling team, the football team.
It's a G-rated show, please.
Yeah. No. I mean, school's a challenge, and when you have a skill set and a sport that you can continue doing, you continue doing it if you can, and if you can make somewhat of a living out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a police job, right? So you're doing that and doing this.
Yeah.
That's got to be challenging in training wise.
Yeah, it's brutal, because these guys at the top level, that's all they do.
That's all they do.
That's all they do.
Correct.
Everything's paid for, the nutrition, everything. So doing so many different things at once is just really stressful. And that's what I was kind of contemplating on what to do at this point. Because it's also a business, when it comes to boxing. And you're really not given the right money or opportunities that you deserve sometimes. Because after I won my last fight and I got the WBA title and I was ranked 14 in the world, now it comes down to luck and negotiations about getting a big payday right there. If I fought one more time, could have broken the top 10, then it's more guaranteed. So that's why this fight's big, because I can put me right into the top 10, the next one I have.
So who are you fighting next? This is on the 28th?
We're going through, it's back and forth with the venue, and
okay.
So it was the 28th, but now it's going to be changed to a different venue.
I would say it's not going to be Paramount?
No, it just got all switched up.
All right. This is, I'm happy about this, by the way.
Absolutely.
You're probably not, but I am, because I want to be at your fight, and your fight and the state wrestling championships are the same night. Except for one's in Albany and one's in Huntington. So now you're telling me it's changed. Yeah. So, and we were invited to do the podcast up there at the States.
Uh-huh.
So I was really excited about that.
Yeah.
And then you had gotten back to me, and I was really excited to do, because I've been thinking about this interview for a while,
Yeah.
you know, getting you on. And I was like, I'm following the interview up with going to the fight, you know? And I'm like, the last time, man of my word, I will be there. But I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
I have to be in Albany and there. And I was like, and I was really devising a whole plan on how to do it. So what do you don't know the date yet? Not sure?
A few dates in the talks, but it's just, you know, my promoter and what he wants to pay for the venue and the venue, how much they want. So I told them, I'm like, I don't even want to be stressed about it. I was like, just pick a venue. Like, I don't care. I'll just fight because it's an important fight. I just didn't want to be like stressed out with. I know it's going to be close to the 20th, just so we're not in like a 20-week training camp.
I was going to say, yeah, like you need to know.
Yeah,
Because you're
the weight
training.
cut.
I was going to ask you about that. You know, everybody in this room right now is a coach, mostly wrestling, but soccer, football, lacrosse, all sorts of sports. And your preparation changes based on, you know, when you're fighting.
Exactly.
You know, it's like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Like you don't lose that weight until a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
For you, talk to us a little bit about that training. Like, let's say the fight is February 28th. What does it look like from now? What, about 5 weeks out it would be, right? About 5 weeks? What does that schedule look like? Weight-wise, training-wise, what changes?
So that would be 5 weeks. I mean, I started picking it up, I think like November 20th. I started, like, that was my first sparring session. So we spar maybe once or twice a week. Not go crazy. I'd be in the gym. But once you hit, like, I'd say like 2 months out from the fight was when it's just, you're picking it up. But it's stressful because you got to be careful with it. You know, like you're not trying to peak too soon. You're not trying to peak too late. You want to keep your weight, you know, not too high, but not too low.
Yeah.
There's just so much that goes into it. You don't want to overdo it. Like, I have to be told to pull back. If not, I'll run every single day. I lose my mind if I don't train. I feel like I'm setting myself back.
Do you change? Do you run further as you get closer, or do you start dialing back? Like, how do you balance that out?
I have to be told to dial back because I never stop running. So I'll just go for, you know, whatever I'm feeling that day. Like, I'll go for a 10-mile run, or I'll do sprints at the track, or sprints on the treadmill, or, you know, change them up. And I'll pull back as it gets closer to the fight. Like, the week of the fight is just cutting weight, and I'm running slow just to get the weight down. But like I said, I have to be told to pull
heavy
back.
hydrate when you're closer.
The week of the fight, yeah, you like overhydrate. I'm tricking your body. I'm sure you know with the wrestling.
Yeah, he told me. That guy right there told me all about
I forgot
it.
what it's called, but like you do 2 gallons of water, 2 gallons and 1, and you cut it down and you start cutting the sodium out, and it's brutal because I lose a lot.
What's your fighting weight?
140.
140?
Yeah.
And what you're walking around.
So, but let's go back to in high school. You fought 165
165
in the gloves.
Yeah.
And now you're a grown ass man and you're going down to 140. What do you weigh right now?
Right now, I'm like 158.
158. Wow. That's 18 pounds, and he does not look fat.
But I walk around like you said, I walk around like 175.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
So I've lost a decent amount. 147.
Why 140? Like, what's your rationale and where to go?
So I started at 140.
That's when your pro fights have been.
Yeah, that was my first. It was like a catch weight at like 144. It's kind of just see how my body reacts, and I never cut weight like that. So we were slowly going down to 140. I was like, okay, I can make it. Now, I mean, I'm ahead of schedule right now. We'll see how it comes off, but the thing about going to 147 now is I'd lose like my world ranking and kind of like the title I had. Like, it's more of a negotiation aspect. Like, this is what we have as far as getting a money fight and a title fight. Now I go to a different weight class. It's kind of starting over in a sense.
Right.
And I think if I could make 40, it's such a big difference at 47 with the guys. They're going to be taller. They're coming down from who knows what weight.
It's the same. It reminds me so much as wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
You have your rankings at a certain weight. If you go to a different weight class, that's all out the window.
Yeah.
What just logistically with the weigh-ins, from when you weigh in to when you fight, what is it the morning of? Is it the day before? What is the?
So that's where it's good compared to like wrestling. I mean, at least I remember wrestling. It was like before, the next
sure.
night.
An hour before.
This will be like noon the day before the fight.
Okay, so
I don't fight till like 10 p.m. the following night.
Got it. So you can rehydrate, eat, get strong. Yes.
Yeah, so you have plenty of time to.
but you still got to do that right.
Yeah.
Like you can't load up
True.
and
No.
then be all fatigued out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like, it's an art.
Yeah. It's
Rest
Oh yeah.
makes all the difference.
Yeah. And you're like relaxed at that point because, the week of the fight, you can't wait. You're stressed about making weight. Once you do, now it's like you make the weight. Now you can kind of relax, like go to dinner with my friends and family. And, you're kind of just having fun in the moment, waiting to fight.
Yeah.
Some people, you have to be smart because sometimes you look at making weight as already won the fight already. You still have a fight.
Right.
So it's still staying.
The first battle.
It's first battle. It's still staying focused, but now you get to relax and go to dinner and you're rehydrating. You're starting to feel good again. So it's just not looking at it as, I just made weight and forget about the fight. But if you could.
You're so right about that.
Yeah.
I remember with certain kids when I had, it was like, and they'd wrestle like crap and be like, you're not on the week.
Mm-hmm.
You totally lost focus after they made weight.
Yeah. And I didn't
Part of the
rehydrate.
grind.
Yeah. I didn't rehydrate correctly after my first fight because I didn't have anyone kind of helping me out. So my dad didn't know about the cutting weight aspect. So it was a lot for me to go down to 44, 43. So I just ate and I would not stop eating. But I didn't know how strict the New York Commission was because I didn't know. It was my pro debut.
Right.
So I got into the venue and they assigned you an inspector. So my stomach was all messed up. So I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, I gotta take a crap. And they're like, okay, that's fine, but we're coming in with you. They watch everything you do. If you go to that bathroom to make sure you're not taking any supplements or anything. So
wow.
And I was on the undercard at the time, so I didn't have my own room to hang out in, my own bathroom. This is just the bathroom that all the fighters are using. And I have an inspector in there watching me go to the bathroom. And I had to go numerous times because my stomach, I didn't rehydrate the right way. Yeah. I felt terrible. But ever since then, I'm like, okay, I'm doing it the right way because I don't want another guy standing in there.
Do you have a go to the bathroom guy? You have somebody who's focuses on that for you?
I did a few times. This guy Scooter, Dave Honig, he's done a ton of world champions, like LL Cool J, DiCaprio. He's great. But I've kind of just learned from different nutritionists and my own body how to go about it.
Yeah. So usually, once you start doing it, you know what works well for you.
Yeah.
When you feel healthy, when you don't, when you feel bloated, when you don't.
Yeah, it's more like convenience, I think, having a nutritionist at that level where you're just paying for one and they're cooking your food.
Yeah.
Just so it's easier. But I think you could learn your own body and figure it out and be fine. I'm ahead of schedule right now. So.
Has anybody talked to you about, try to say, get into MMA or something else because that's where the game is now?
Yeah.
And you're a wrestler and a football player, so you have kind of a good background in athletics. And are you yes, no, or are you like, no, I'm a boxer. I want to focus on boxing.
I'm always like, no, just because I think my knees are a little shot from, playing all these sports and stuff. And I mean, it's brutal what they do, those MMA guys. And the thing is, the biggest thing is the money's still not in MMA. Like the UFC.
Right.
The money's in boxing. There's guys that, you probably never heard of that are walking around and they're worth millions in boxing. They're probably, they're not a big name that people watch, if I got a big shot and I made $5 million off of that. A lot of people wouldn't know who I am just from that one fight, So the money's still in boxing. MMA is more popular right now, definitely, because the best are fighting the best.
But you also got to get to Dana White and get in that crowd and in those fights along the way. I mean, a lot of Long Island wrestlers have gotten into it, and very few. We have some. I mean, we have some of the best in the world, but we also have a lot of other guys that went into it, and they never made money. They never did anything. They could say they did it, but that's about it.
Yeah, there's some fighters I know that from Long Island that were on an undercard, fought, lost, and then you hear they made like $750,000.
Wow,
just some undercard fight.
Yeah,
and
really,
yeah, and then I know guys that were on an undercard and made $1.5 million.
Wow.
And it's
so the money's still in boxing.
The money's still in boxing.
Still there.
And I think that's what ruins boxing. I think the money is in boxing because of this reason, but I think it's also what ruins boxing is all the different titles that are out there.
Yeah.
Like the WBA, WBC. But that's why the money is there. It's weird.
Can you give us a little crash course in the different levels, the different monies, the how that's priced, just for the people that are watching that don't really understand.
Yeah. So I mean, there's I think 4 major sanctioning bodies: the WBC, the WBA, WBO, and IBF. So those are the main ones you want. Then they have the ones under that mean, let's say WBA title. And that's like your leverage. So I fought for the WBA Continental title. Once I won that was when I got bumped into number 14 in the world. So then having a title is where you could negotiate to fight for another WBA title. So it could be me, like at the time I was 14, Ryan Garcia was number 4. So that's a big money fight for me. So if Ryan Garcia has a WBA title, I have one. He's like, I want to get 2 titles. If I beat Vargas, I have 2. And I could fight for the world title and get 3. And that would be whatever money it is for him. But if I fought Ryan Garcia, that's a $5 million payday for me.
Wow.
Now, if I beat him and I have 2 of the other belts, so you're kind of just fighting to...
If that happens, we'll build the McIntyre Vargas podcast studio.
Yeah,
on the $5 million one.
That's all I need. So
you can be our perpetual sponsor.
That's it.
Let's interview Alex again.
Yeah,
exactly.
But that's the thing; it's all about luck. Also, in the sport.
Sure.
Like this guy. He was he worked in the union in England, and Shakur Stevenson, who was a world champion, had a fight. His opponent pulled out, and they called that guy. And he was working in the union. He was in the top 20 in the world. Called him to fight him, in a month.
So he just steps in on a card.
Steps in, and he made $3.5 million.
Wow.
Just to step in and fight Shakur. So it's a lot of timing and luck.
Yeah.
Negotiations. It's a headache, but
you
never know.
Management negotiating for you, and
all of that. My promoter. Who knows what he's doing?
With you or your dad?
My dad and my other trainer, Andre, he's had a ton of world champions, so he knows what he's doing. My dad kind of learns off of him. My dad does the sponsors and stuff like that.
How is your relationship? I'm sure it's amazing because I've saw a bunch of podcasts where you talk, just beautifully about your dad. But I coached my own boys for a long time, and I handed them off to Coach Bass. Coach Bass coached his own boys. Coach Guma coached his own boys. And coaching your own kids, it's so hard because everybody, like my son, I was the greatest coach up until I wasn't. And then I knew nothing. Like nothing. Like I never coached a sport in my life. Didn't know anything about football, nothing about wrestling, nothing. And Coach Bass and I would talk all the time behind my son's back. And, we'd have great conversations together about what he thought Liam should do. And as long as he said it, it was fine.
Yeah.
Tell me about you and your dad. Cause it has to, I know you guys have a great relationship, but that had to happen at some point.
Oh my gosh.
With me. So my sons, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
37 years of amateur wrestling. I was the biggest moron on the face of the earth. I knew nothing. Actually told me to my face, one of my sons.
Well, I called both these guys to talk to my son.
Yeah.
So, but that's a perfect segue into.
Yes. How did your dad do it?
Yeah. Tell us about that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, we butt heads, definitely. I mean, nonstop. I think, you know, like you guys said, like, you know it all. Like, dad knows it all until you get to a certain level. So, my dad coached me since I was young.
Yeah.
At that time, I was like, he knows what he's doing. He's teaching me how to fight. That was more just, all right, you know how it is, I'm sure. He's like very old school. Like, you know, kids are doing the sprints around the track. He's like, you're doing another 2.
Right.
And you're staying late and you're doing like the extra.
Yeah. He's an old school guy, your dad.
And he's still like that to where I'm like, I have to tell him, like, train smarter, you know, not harder sometimes. Like, my body's jacked up. He's like, we gotta go do the sprints. Like, I can't today. Like, I can't. He's like, no, we gotta go do them. Like, just very old school minded. So we butt heads there a lot, you know, because I'm like, I don't want to feel stressed like I'm under training. And he's like, well, you got to get the work in. I'm like, but I'm hurt. So we butt heads a lot like that. He's good when it comes to coaching me because he lets other trainers, you know, jump in and teach me different aspects because he knows he could only take me to a certain point.
Right.
Because he never trained any fighters. He never fought. So other guys, like, he's not the number one in my corner. Like, he's in my corner, but he's not the one in the ring. So he's good like that, giving me off to other people.
He passed you off. He's still there.
Yeah.
But he's brought in other trained guys that know more, that have done it before. So really, he's being a great dad because he's, you know, he's putting his pride back a little bit and saying, I want the best for my son, and I'm good, but I want great with him. Yeah, you know.
I think it's more the where he butt heads is one, he's not good with like stress. You know, like, you would think he's
a little bit of stress in boxing.
He's the one fighting. I'm fighting, and my mom will be like, she's like, if you're feeling stressed, like, think about what he's going through, like the week of the weight cut. So we'll argue over things like since he never fought, he won't understand how I'm feeling in there sometimes. Like, if he wants me to throw a certain combination, but I don't feel comfortable throwing it, or a certain punch, because I just don't feel comfortable how the guy's foot is, or I think he's trying to land something that I just feel my dad doesn't see. Or, you know, he hasn't been hit with 8-ounce gloves and no headgear. Right. So when he's like, you know, press the action more, I'm like, this guy hits hard. I gotta slowly break him down. So I think it's more the communication aspect of things he might see, but he can't feel how I'm feeling in there. And he doesn't know how that feels.
Truthfully, that could be with any trainer you have.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But I think the main thing we argue about is just he just doesn't pay attention to little things. Like the week of my weight cut, and it's towards the back end, I'm really hurting. Like, my mom will sit at the dinner table. I'm in a bad mood, and she won't eat until I leave. I go downstairs. Like, she's just not eating.
That's a mom.
Yeah. That's such a mom.
And if I'm in a good mood to talk, she'll talk to me. If not, she'll just let me be. My dad will come home with 2 slices of pizza, sit down next to me, take a bite of the pizza, and be like, wow, this pizza's so good. Like, you got to try it. Just not realizing that I'm going through the weight cut. So I obviously get mad. And then we go back and forth. It's things like that. And my mom has to tell him, like, what's wrong with you? Like, he comes home with food, dessert, and I'm just sitting there suffering. But I think he's so stressed out the week of the fight, too, that he doesn't pay attention. But it's things like that. Yeah. But the typical, you know, like you guys mentioned.
At the end of the day, you give him all the credit in the world.
Yeah, can I jump in for a second? You know, it's got to be amazing to have a dad there, because you truly know your dad. You can trust, and he has your back. My buddy Ray, that I was talking about earlier, who knew you when you were young, he talks about the intense. It's a business, and who you can trust, and the fights that are set up. And talk a little bit about how you navigate the business end of it, and who's really cares about you for the longevity? Who's just trying to throw you in there? You know where I'm going with that, right?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
It's boxing's very dirty.
And you have your dad and your corner, so
Yeah, boxing's very dirty.
yeah,
So
dirty. That's what
you
I was
know,
leading to.
I've been offered a few where it was like 3 weeks notice, and it's like, go to Kazakhstan if you want to fight their Olympic gold medalist in the main event there. I'm like, sure. They're like, but you got to go up one weight class. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what's the money?
Right.
And the money was, I think it was like 50,000 to go fight. I'm going to his home country.
Yeah.
I'm not winning a decision, so I'd have to knock him out for 50,000. Like, it's just not worth it. But they're like all about it because who knows what the promoter's making, because they won't tell you.
Right.
So if there's a pot of 500,000 total, both promoters will sneak 250,000 each and be like, we got this for you guys, 50,000 each to the fighter, but they're walking away with 250,000.
Yeah.
So even like my fight that's coming up, we're both signed to the same promoter. We're both undefeated, and you know, they're telling me, we think it's a good fight. We think way better. You're going to beat them. But I'm always thinking, like, I don't know what they're telling him.
Yeah.
Because
they're chirping the same thing in his ear.
it's a win-win for them, because whoever wins, so I'd be the favorite. So they're like, if I win, I'll crack the top 10 in the world, and he'll get a big payday, which means more money for us.
Mm-hmm.
And if he upsets me, he's going to jump into the top 15. So it's a win-win, because one of us is going up,
and they're promoting,
and they're gonna they're gonna make money off of one, and whoever loses, they're gonna drop off the rest and cut loose from the contract.
Wow.
So I know that's how it goes. They were like, "You want to fight this undefeated kid?" And we were like, "Yeah," but I know what they're telling me. I know they're telling him the same thing, and then, like you said, it comes down to my team and my dad, and if they think it's a good fight, they all said yes right away to this guy.
What a great resource you have to have, you know, your dad there who, you know, can kind of feel out the situation and kind of, you know, defer to those professionals that he's
Alex, do you watch, before you say yes to a fight, do you watch film on the guy and make a decision in your head? Yeah, this is someone I want to fight. I feel comfortable with his style. You're a southpaw, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, there's less southpaws than there are righties out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, you feel like that's an advantage or disadvantage?
What, being a southpaw?
Being a southpaw.
I think it's a big advantage if you use it, the advantages, you know, that come with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't use them, then, you know, it's not going to work. But guys aren't used to a lot of what southpaws can do. You know, if people angle to the right, you
step outside their foot or something like that.
Outside the fight, you
knew a little bit about it, but not much.
The straight left hand, because they're used to the, you know, the other hand, you know, the jab instead of the left. So it's just things I don't realize, like, are just difficult for them.
Mm-hmm. Because you fight mostly righties.
I fight mostly righties, yeah. So they're just not used to it as much. And then when it comes to a fight, to get sparring of a southpaw is tough because there aren't many.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just me being used to fighting righties all the time.
So going back, you watch film on him first and then make a decision, yeah, I want to fight this guy kind of thing?
Yeah, I watch film. I'm usually always like, I'll fight him. Like, I really don't. I'm like, I'll fight him. But my dad and my team they'll, whatever guys they sent us, they'll kind of pick and be like, we think this is the best. They sent us this guy, and everyone was just like, yeah, we'll take it.
Okay.
You know.
Have there been guys where, you know, the team was like, Alex, I don't know. Out of your 14 victories, let's say.
Yeah, there were some. Just that it wasn't the right timing. Like, it was like, this guy, you two should fight for a good amount of money. Like, why are we going to fight right now?
Gotcha.
It doesn't make sense.
Further down, higher rank.
Yeah.
For the two of you.
It's too soon.
Gotcha.
One of the fights they were on the fence about, I went to Florida to fight this undefeated kid from Florida. And he was a southpaw, tough guy. But they were like, you're going to his hometown. You know, we don't know how the judges are going to be. But then we were like, let's just do it. It can't be that bad. Until we got down there and realized how bad, like, it can be. Like, I remember the night of the fight. It was my first fight on, like, national television, too. And they were like, we're going to pick you up and take you to the venue at so-and-so time. So we were down there waiting to be picked up. I don't see my opponent. So we're like, we're a little late right now, aren't we? They're like, no, you'll be fine. Whatever, we get picked up, taken to the venue. You know, I walk into the locker room, put my music on, and then the commission comes in and they're like, you have 5 minutes to get ready or you're disqualified.
What?
So we were all like, what are you talking about? Like, you guys set up the pickup time and everything. We just got here. Like 5 minutes.
So they were playing you.
Oh, yeah. He was all wrapped up and had his gloves on. So we had 5 minutes on. I think my trainer finished wrapping and getting my gloves on with like 5 seconds left.
Oh, my goodness.
Tied them up and then taped them up. And I just remember doing my ring walk.
Really?
I just remember stepping in the ring, seeing the cameras flying around. That's it. I don't remember the fight at all.
Really?
I just remember certain moments and winning that fight, but it was
Decision
kind of like
or
a blur.
knockout?
Decision. It was a close,
Down
a
in
tough.
Florida.
Yeah, and
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. Which is tough.
Yeah.
Not on your own turf.
yeah. It was a majority decision. So
Especially when they set it up against you like that.
So two judges had me winning, and one had it a draw. I think that's how it worked.
Okay.
So yeah, got out of that one, but
Wow.
I don't remember.
I was going to say, like, unless you know, we all, as fight fans, like, you hear stuff is fixed or this or that, and then, but you being in it, knowing all the gamesmanship that can go against you in wherever you, like, if you're traveling, it's just going to be set up that way unless you maybe either have really good management, somebody that's going to control it and say, no, if you screw with us, we're not taking this fight.
Yeah.
Like, we'll walk away.
Yeah. And even here, like, people are telling me with this fight I have coming up, we're under the same promotion, but, like, you don't know who they want because everyone says, like, it would be better for you and them if it were you to go forward because you already had the ranking and title. But they're like, you don't know if he has the kids from Ireland, a fight set up with some big Irish fighter down in Ireland that can make a lot of money.
Right.
And you don't know about that. So you kind of have to knock them out. So it's one of those where you have to win clearly or knock them out because you don't know what games they're kind of playing or whose side they're on.
Wow.
I guess nobody can argue with a knockout.
No.
That's the
You know what I
biggest
mean?
thing. Yeah.
So you going in, it's like, I better knock him out or else the score's not going my way.
Yeah.
What's your lowest low in boxing?
Lowest low.
Yeah, like what, where you just maybe wanted to give it up, down and out. You haven't lost as a pro, so it wouldn't be a loss. But have you had a lowest low yet? Or no? It's kind of like been moving along pretty well.
I mean, I have my moments where I'm like, when's that opportunity coming? Like, kind of like, I was ranked number 14 in the world. It was still getting these low offers, and it's kind of like, when's it gonna pay off kind of thing? But I wouldn't say it's a low. I guess you're always optimistic that you'll get a call or you'll have, that opportunity. And I guess I kind of got the drive again when, I haven't fought in a bit. So to come back and have an opportunity to now win another title right now and then break the top 10 in the world kind of gave me that motivation again from that, we haven't really gotten anything yet. Like, we beat a few undefeated guys and this and that and nothing. But
what's your highest high? Like, do you have a couple of check moments where you say, you know what, like, that was awesome. That's the best thing, one of the best things I ever did?
I still think winning the Golden Gloves was
winning the gloves.
Even when I won the title as a pro, it was great, but the Golden Gloves was just something I wanted as a kid.
Yeah.
I saw all these guys that went on to be world champions with the Golden Gloves necklace. Like, that was just such a dream of mine. It's so vivid. I remember that night and being in the ring. I remember the bus leaving the high school parking lot to go watch my fight. And I was in high school too, so it was just, that was really like a dream come true.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, the Golden Gloves, everybody knows about the Golden Gloves.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I knew more about the Golden Gloves than I did about you being ranked 14th in the world and winning a belt.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't hear much about it.
Yeah.
You know, but that's cool. That's very, very, very cool. So how long do you think you're going to keep going?
It's a tough one. I always said I want to retire from boxing and not have boxing retire me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get that payday, I'll walk away. I'll walk right into the sunset.
Good
like,
for you.
People are like, you can't do that. I'm like, I can, because like they don't realize what goes into it. Like, you know, the cutting weight, missing, you know, Christmas or whatever it is with the family, getting hit in the head, you know, and then when you turn pro, it's 8-ounce gloves, no headgear, and like it's a lot. You're destroying the body.
Is your drive? Has it always been? It probably hasn't, but the payday's part of it. But what's driven you to be like a competitive boxer? It's got to be something special inside of you, because even, you know, my boys, I love that they wrestle. Like, I love it. It's just something that's in us. And I love boxing. My dad, I think, wanted us to be boxers when we were little. I would never want my boys to box now. I would just, you know, I get nervous about them getting punched in the head.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't want my kids fighting. When you could train, but I don't want them competing. Just, especially if he wants to go pro and stuff, and seeing how dirty the business is and what it takes, I don't want him doing it. Like, I think it's just the beauty of like wrestling. There's no team. Like, there's no one to blame it on. It's you. It's just you. And if you, it all comes out. It all shows. Like, if you cut corners, it's going to show. If you work hard, it's going to show. Like, it's just all on you. And you could be unlucky. Like, some fighters win every round and get knocked out the last round, which is horrible, but there's no one to blame it on. That's like the hard thing about it, because that's something you look back on and be like, what did I do wrong? But then if you're the other guy, it's like, because I worked so hard, I was able to knock him out. Yeah. So
that's life lessons, though.
Yeah.
That is like life in the nutshell.
Yeah.
You know, you can do everything right. And, you know, lightning hits your house and now you have this huge payment.
Yeah.
You know, like, you could do everything right and things go wrong.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you could rest your head knowing I did the grind. I put the work in. You know, I did all those things, and I'm not blaming my dad. I'm not blaming my trainer. I'm not blaming that. You know, it's me. Yeah. You know, and jumping in that ring, man, that takes iron balls. Like, it really is. You know, that's a tough. I would say a man's world, but men or women, anybody who jumps in there, it takes a lot of guts to do that.
Yeah.
Two sports I can think of that are like that, where you win every round, you get knocked out in the last round. Wrestling, you're up 14-0, get headlocked and stuff.
Yeah.
There's really no other sports. There's always a cumulative score kind of thing.
Yeah, it's never like it's over.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's up until that final bell rings and you know, that final period. There's always that chance of getting pinned or getting knocked out.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the beauty of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, if you're winning, you got to stay sharp to not let that happen. You could slip up. The other guy could get lucky, or, you know, but you always have that chance to win. That's why I think not many people box and wrestle. And
I mean, these are the toughest sports in the world, you know?
Yeah.
But they bring out the most character in a human being.
Yeah, I think it helps in life a lot.
Yeah.
You know, just being a human being.
Alex, thank you so much for coming in.
Of course.
I really
Thanks
wanted to do this for a long time, because I was proud of you, and it made a mark on me that day when you walked in my office, and I was like so upset that you weren't wrestling. But then to see you didn't do one really hard thing to do something else that was really hard, and you achieved at the highest level. You won the Golden Gloves. Then you became a pro. Now you're ranked 14th in the world. I admire you. I'm proud of you. Can't wait to go see you when you let me know when it's locked in.
Yeah.
And we'll be there.
Thank you.
Thanks,
you. Means a
brother.
lot.
Again, thanks for coming in.
Always.
Alex Vargas, man.